This has been the most ghetto campaign I've ever seen in my life. You have a candidate that can't answer a direct question without gaslighting, deflecting, catching a goofy attitude, and blaming her opponent. She keeps talking about being raised in a middle-class family, which was actually in Canada, by the way, in an upper-class neighborhood. She also keeps muttering this stupid catchphrase, "What can be, unburdened by what has been." What the hell does that even mean? Don't pay any attention to the man behind the curtain? The most defining moment of her scatterbrained, low IQ mentality was when she sat down with Fox's Brett Baier, and he asked her about the border, and she blamed Trump for her failures, saying at one point that she didn't do her job because he was running for president, and suggested that Brett knew what she was talking about, and he clearly didn't. For she was under the impression that because he wasn't in favor of Trump, that he would be on her side and let her get away with that brain-dead response. He didn't, and neither did any of us, as she continued to blame Trump for her failures. She's tanked interview after interview after interview after interview after interview, be it teleprompters going down, people heckling her, which has happened a lot ever since she kicked those Christians out of her rally after getting smart-mouthed with them. Oh, you need to go to the smaller rally down the street. That would be the Al Smith dinner that she was supposed to have attended instead of sending some nonsensical video of a 20-year-old Saturday Night Live skit that wasn't even funny back then, a true signature of her campaign. Shall we mention the ridiculousness of trying to control the Joe Rogan interview? Why the hell would he waste his time packing up his equipment, paying for his staff to go to her, only for an hours-long interview? That's like going to work on a Sunday night to Xerox 5 copies of a chewing gum wrapper. The idiotic copying of Trump's ideas, he said 5,000. Well, I'm offering 6,000. He's not going to tax overtime. I'm going to lie and say he's going to triple the taxes and that I'm going to eliminate the taxes on tips. Something else he once said, that'll show him. I'll call him a fascist on national TV and says he wants Nazi generals and that he's going to use the military to throw Americans in jail, even though he was talking about me, Letitia James, Fonnie Willis, and anyone else that was involved in using our power to jail him for being our political opponent. Not that we had any actual real cases on him. We just wanted to tie him up in court financially, so he wouldn't have political capital. Now, doesn't that sound exactly what a spiteful, vengeful, silly black woman would do to you if you made her mad? Hell, she's not even black. She's Indian and Irish, lying about her family legacy in her book and to the media, even lying about working at McDonald's, using a picture of a white woman with her face photoshopped over the girls in her McDonald's uniform. Just an all-around liar, throwing black men in jail for weed. Not bricks, but joints for years, and overextending their time for the free prison labor, and throwing black women in jail if their kids miss school, even if they're hospitalized, completely destroying their lives for financial kickbacks from the school system. She may not be an American black woman, but she certainly acts and thinks like one. Do we even need to talk about these garbage majority black celebrities who push nothing but degeneracy and poison into our communities with their degrading music and TV shows? Let's run down the list. Meg Thee Stallion, Bruce Springsteen, Beyoncé, Jennifer Lopez, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Taylor Swift, Eminem, Jennifer Aniston, Anne Hathaway, Oprah, George Clooney, Julia Roberts, Usher, the Obamas, and Cardi B, who are all connected to Diddy. Cardi even said to Elon Musk, who took note of the association and called them puppets. I'm not a puppet, Elon. I'm a daughter of 2 immigrant parents who had to work their asses off to provide for me. I'm a product of welfare. I'm a product of Section 8. I'm a product of poverty. And I'm a product of what happens when the system is set up against you. But you don't know anything about that. You don't know one thing about the American struggle. I guess that's why she openly confessed to slutting herself out while pregnant, drugging and robbing men, even having some of them raped by trannies, and getting ridiculous-looking BBL surgeries while barely being able to sound coherent in her ramblings due to her piss-poor educational background. Have you read her tweets? It's like reading the writings of a 3-year-old. Instead of getting surgeries, how about the Hooked on Phonics series? Yes, she's definitely the queen of black women with moves like that, and a great representation of Kamala Harris and what the Democratic Party represents. It's hard to believe that our nation's top city girl boss has produced such a high volume of wisdom. There is no denying that Harris has a way with words. From complex foreign policy explanations to groundbreaking musings on the COVID-19 pandemic, she has been a sage for the people. Here's my favorite philosophical soliloquy, because it sounds as though she's shouting her stream of consciousness into a void, from our babbler-in-chief. The governor and I, we were all doing a tour of the library here and talking about the significance of the passage of time, right? The significance of the passage of time. So when you think about it, there is great significance to the passage of time in terms of what we need to do to lay these wires, what we need to do to create these jobs. And there is such great significance to the passage of time when we think about a day in the life of our children. It almost reminds one of Abraham Lincoln. Can the Gettysburg Address even hold a candle? Combating the terror of climate change is a major priority of the Biden administration. Harris offered this promising solution to the crisis that provides us with real clarity and hope. She said, "We will work together and continue to work together to address these issues and to work together as we continue to work, operating from the new norms, rules, and agreements that we will convene to work together. We will work on this together." In the wake of the Highland Park shooting, Harris argued, "We got to take this stuff seriously as you are because you have been forced to have taken this seriously," as she announced an outright assault on the Second Amendment. Speaking to COVID-19, Harris didn't mince words on the urgency of immediate action and strong leadership. "It is time for us to do what we have been doing, and that time is every day." Phew, we're saved. Harris's foreign policy positions have been so well articulated that they leave our international allies and adversaries in disbelief. Take this lesson from her on basic situational geography. So Ukraine is a country in Europe. It exists next to another country called Russia. Russia is a bigger country. Russia is a powerful country. Russia decided to invade a smaller country called Ukraine. So basically that's wrong. Americans are quite lucky to have a woman of such profound intelligence in the White House. Can you say city girl power? The ignorance and low IQ ramblings that come out of this woman's mouth is one of the very reasons why we as a people should have a problem with the diversity, equity, and inclusion mantra, because it doesn't elevate its best and brightest, but our dumbest and useless based on race and sex, completely leaving out the best component of all, intellectual competency. The ability to do the job. Competency, and how about some merit? Harris dropped one of her word salad catchphrases during a campaign stop in Pittsburgh, despite facing widespread mockery over the meme-worthy soundbite. The Democratic presidential candidate ignited social media after slipping her unburdened rallying cry into her speech to union workers. "We have dreams. We can see what is possible, unburdened by what has been," Harris said. Critics were quick to seize on the moment on social media, with some noting the word salad extraordinaire is at it again. Kamala gets flustered, defaults to her favorite cringe, recycled line, "We can see what is possible, unburdened by what has been," one user posted on X. "OMG, we need to be unburdened by her," another griped. And one user tweeted, "And there it is, she said it again." Others posted a slew of memes, including an episode of The Simpsons, in which Bart Simpson becomes renowned for an inane catchphrase and is implored to say the line. Some also rattled off the slew of word salads, meme-worthy sound bites, and ill-timed cackles for which Harris has faced widespread mockery over the past few years. She's gonna bring out the coconut tree line on election eve like a greatest hits show. "Coconut tree, wheels on the bus, unburdened," one ex-user tweeted. Despite the mockery, Harris has all but made unburdened a call to arms of sorts in recent years. She has used the phrase so often that there are minutes-long compilations available to watch online, and there is an entire section dedicated to her use of the word on Wikipedia. One mashup shows her intoning the perplexing line gravely more than 20 times, with many commentators repeatedly baffled by exactly what she is trying to say. She also faced backlash after critics accused her of using a fake accent in her remarks to teachers' union members in Michigan, something that she does a lot depending on who she's speaking to. The VP appeared to alter her tone of voice in moments when she became particularly animated and when interacting with supporters in the crowd at a Detroit high school. Can you imagine this idiot talking to Putin and Xi Jinping? They'll run circles around her. Heaven help us if they steal this election. The world will be set ablaze in nuclear destruction.